Hello. Welcome to Kilowatt. What are you looking at? Is there something on my face? To celebrate the end of July, today we're talking about a shark movie. And no, not any kind of shark movie. A stupid one. That's right, it's 1999's Deep Blue Sea. Twists, turns, and terrible special effects await in this hilarious yet very bad movie that I'm gonna review. But before that, what is it about? Well, it's about these hot young adults making out on a boat at night. And in case you're wondering, they're having a party, man.
We're having a party, man.
Yeah, I was wondering what they were doing. Anyhow, there's some odd turbulence down in the water. So much so that a bottle of wine falls in it and oh god, the wine spills everywhere and it looks like blood. Although sharks smell blood. They don't just go after it because it looks red. But I think we're supposed to think this is really stressful and all. What's more, the boat now seems to be attacked by some kind of... What is that?
What is that?
Terrible acting? Yeah, well, these guys are dead. That is, unless Thomas Jane shows up and stops the shark only to stare ominously in the distance. Oh, look at that. Now time for the fun setup of this cheesy, silly film. Alzheimer's disease. Yes, this lady, Dr. Susan McAllister, I'll just call her Susan, it's funnier.
Okay.
She's running this high-tech facility where a group of scientists and herself are looking for a cure to Alzheimer's disease by running tests on sharks. They're gonna extract super brain juice from sharks to cure people, based on a real story. Thing is, she just has to convince motherfucking Samuel L. Jackson, the world's richest man alive, so that he keeps funding this whole thing. At first he says no, but then he says yeah. Onto the facility they go, and what do you mean this is literally like Jurassic Park? I barely even see the resemblance. Thomas Jane is still here. In fact, he works here, and his name is actually Carter Blake. This is just about all the info we're gonna get about him. He's the shark guy. Those are fuck me eyes if I've ever seen any. Fun trivia, this is actually the license plate from Jaws. Yeah, I'm somewhat of a connoisseur. But now, these two need to talk.
We need to talk.
Later.
Never mind. While we're here, I guess let's meet everybody else. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. There's Janice, the marine biologist. Dr. Jim Whitlock, played by the Skarsgård daddy. There's Skoggs? Skoggs, I guess.
Huh.
There's the cook, nicknamed Preacher, and he's played by rapper LL Cool J. Needless to say, rappers in horror films are just always fantastic.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
And lastly, of course, there's our antagonists, the sharks. There's 3 of them. Funny enough, there's also 3 different types of sharks used in the film. Real ones, animatronics, and of course, late 90s CGI.
It's pretty scary stuff, huh?
Now, is it just me, or is this horror movie lacking any spookiness? Well, don't worry, pals. Deep Blue Sea has got you covered. Because there's a storm now, and Shark Guy needs to go near the sharks. For some reason, I'm not sure why. But hey, enjoy some more stellar special effects.
It's pretty scary stuff, huh?
Yes.
Man, this film is crazy, but guess what happens next? Just take a guess. If you guessed that the sharks start devouring the security cameras because their magic mutant brains understand what this piece of technology is, you'd be absolutely right, based on real events. God, she's just getting hornier by the minute. Somebody do something. Well, Thomas Jane has successfully captured the shark, and now Gen 2 is online, transferring exotics to remote terminals. You know. So, they cured Alzheimer's. Alright, let's celebrate. Put your hands in the air.
Oops.
So Stellan Skarsgård got his arm bitten off. And funny enough, his son, Bill Skarsgård, would 18 years later play Pennywise and bite off a little kid's arm. Limbs, they're fun to eat. It runs in the family, I guess. Now is where the late 90s cheese really hits hard. You ready for it?
Yes.
Papa Skarsgård gets rescued by a helicopter, but the cable doesn't work for some reason, so he falls down. That's not it, folks. The sharks then use the cable to drag the helicopter towards the facility to blow it up. And then, one of these sharks launches the poor half-dead handicapped guy here towards the glass with such strength that the glass breaks. For a movie all about rejuvenating brain cells, I sure am losing a lot of them watching this. Well, everything's flooded now, thanks to this human rocket going 100 miles an hour underwater. Which brings us to the infamous we gotta get from point A to point B plotline, but with sharks somehow busting through steel doors.
Is that a goddamn shark broke through that door? Yes.
If you're wondering how the hell this can happen, well, we finally get a scientific explanation.
Jim and I use gene therapies to increase their brain mass. Larger brain means more protein. As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
Perhaps they should have increased the brain mass of the screenwriters instead.
You stupid bitch.
The B-plot here follows LL Cool J in this ridiculously long chase scene with one of the sharks. He hops on that shelf and falls down. He's got a parrot, but he gets eaten. He gets in the oven, but then the shark activates the oven. What? He dives back in, takes out a lighter, and then the shark blows up. Jesus Christ, what a scene. What a movie. My head hurts.
So we're not going to fight anymore. We're gonna seal off this movie.
These special effects are a feast for the eyes. Yeah, Sam's dead. Rest in peace.
Motherfucker.
I'll give them that. The next scene is actually pretty well made. The gang is climbing up a ladder to get up this elevator shaft with water rising underneath. Plus, you know.
The sharks got smarter.
I don't want to die!
Oh, really?
Oops.
LL Cool J's here to the rescue though, bringing us to the final act of this stupid movie.
Are you all that made it?
Here's the plot stuff. Carter and Skoggs, they go on a duo mission to reroute the generators to drain a stairway, or something like that. So yeah, I guess somehow these generators still work, despite the whole facility being Oh, ouch, ouch, my brain, stop thinking. Meanwhile, Susan goes on her own to grab samples of her research on Alzheimer's enhanced shark brain juice cure. Did I get that right? And as for Cool J, well...
And if this message finds you, then I did not survive, so this is my legacy.
We will begin with the perfect omelet, which is made with 2 eggs, not 3. Amateurs often add milk for density. This is a mistake.
Okay, generators on. Bravissimo! Oui, oui! Holy shit, this looks bad. Holy shit. You know what doesn't look bad though? Susan stripping down for no real reason other than for you perverts. Yes, this is so hot. All I need now is for her to electrocute the shark while she's all wet and I'll jizz my pants. Our trio of survivors are now 60 feet below the surface.
60 feet?
So it's an all or nothing situation.
Get the hell out of the water.
It's now time for another short round of compliments, because yeah, this scene was actually pretty cool and it made me suffocate a little on the inside. Hey, what's new? I do that every day. It's very tense. The holding your breath element just alone is very scary, but add to that a giant mutant shark and you got something here. Just make sure the shark looks realistic or else you're gonna lose all the... Oh, well, here's another intense scene. LL gets bitten by the shark and dragged underwater. He's nearly drowning as he's stabbing it in the eye. It's really intense. The only thing that would ruin it was if the shark growled like a beast despite having no vocal. Oh, don't worry about America's greatest rapper though. He's fine, despite having lost about 12 gallons of blood. No, he's fine.
About the deep blue sea.
No, he said the thing. He said it. Well, yeah, anyways, this is somewhat of a happy ending, as our 3 characters are now above the water and safe from harm. The end. Oh, God. Okay, didn't expect that. Now, the reason why this feels so abrupt is because apparently Susan originally survived, but test audiences wanted her dead, so they reshot the ending. I'm not entirely sure that was the right call, as the whole movie sets up a romance between these two, and yet at the end she dies, and 2 minutes later, Carter is making jokes.
Nice.
Just a little weird and inconsistent in tone, maybe. Hey, at least LL's still here, although I should probably start calling him Deus Ex Machina Cool J, because once again he saves the day at the last minute. The end. It's hard to talk about the kills as they're both hilarious and horrible. Look, this movie's dated. It has not aged like a fine wine, more like milk in a hot car on a summer afternoon. I had a blast watching PlayStation 1 characters with ragdoll physics getting thrown around in the water. I could watch that all day. But were the kills good? Nope. That said though, let's just say for a second that we forget the horrendous special effects and just try to imagine these death scenes if they looked more realistic. Well, if we're going by that logic, I do like how savage these fucking sharks are. They're splitting humans in half and gulping them in one bite. There's plenty of blood and plenty of gore. It's a great time. But then again, when the gore looks like this, I kinda have to give the kills 9 kilowatts out of 20.
What this movie is really about is smart sharks. The sharks are a major character in this movie and have a real personality.
No, they don't have a personality. They're just fucking sharks. Whenever they turn into computer-generated models from 1999, it just becomes an unintentional comedy. The physics are all wrong, the textures are ugly, they completely stand out from the real backgrounds they're supposed to be in. The fact that they had therapy sessions to increase their brain size, making them able to turn ovens on, understand what security cameras are, and of course, drag a helicopter towards the station to blow it up, it just makes it even funnier. What a dumb movie. Put that aside though, and you get what you came to see. Scary, big-ass sharks lurking in a research facility trying to eat humans. There's a real conflicting tone here between creepy and idiotic, and that makes it hard to rate, but hey, I'll give these silly things 14 kilowatts out of 20. So is this a well-written movie? Nope. I could honestly just put random bits of dialogue for a couple minutes and that would sum it up pretty well.
As a side effect, the sharks got smarter.
The story is so moronic it makes me feel ill. The characters are all idiots, there's the shitty humor.
We will begin with the perfect omelet.
The dialogue, oh my god, the dialogue.
What in God's creation?
Oh, not his. Ours.
I guess I liked Carter a little bit, mostly because Thomas Jane is a great actor, but otherwise it's hard finding any redeeming qualities with this story. Curing Alzheimer's with shark brains? Really? It's the definition of basic-ass, dull, rushed screenplay for a stupid blockbuster flick, and I'm gonna give it 4 kilowatts out of 20. Deep Blue Sea is, in every sense of the way, inconsistent. In terms of tone, quality, logic, and of course in terms of visuals. I'll give the movie credit where credit is due. This film has some great set pieces. They're usually pretty varied, ranging from a simple kitchen to a burning elevator shaft to the submerged claustrophobic corridors. And yes, as someone with slight claustrophobic tendencies, I will admit some of these action/horror scenes were unnerving sometimes. They also used some very convincing animatronics that made me feel like an actual shark was there, and combine that with decent shot compositions and moody lighting, I'd say the visuals are amongst the best things Deep Blue Sea has to offer. But you see me coming, don't you? These computer effects would make Asylum movies look like Marvel films, and don't blame the year this came out. Jurassic Park came out in 1993 and it blows it out of the park. Of the Jurassic Park, that is. Perhaps they were just a little too ambitious for the resources they had.
I challenge anybody to tell me what is real.
I don't know, but when you're at a point where a shot of a helicopter moving towards the camera is 100% CG, maybe you should pipe down and just go with a real helicopter? How hard can that be? I don't hate CGI at all, I think it can be absolutely great, but that's not the case here. Still, for everything else the visuals have to offer, I'll give the aesthetic 14 kilowatts out of 20. At last, how fun is this film? Listen, this is usually my cup of tea, a cheesy-ass, stupid, dumb horror flick to watch with friends around a couple beers, but thing is, it's not a B-movie. It actually has a budget and takes itself pretty damn seriously.
The sharks got smarter.
I must repeat once again that there's a great conflict in tone from beginning to end, and none of it works all that well. Take A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, for example, which has genuinely frightening scenes, some of my favorites in the series, but also, you know, there's a gym coach getting his ass slapped by Freddy. Both ends of the spectrum are delightful. So we get something pretty similar here, except both ends are mediocre at best. Not quite hilarious, not quite scary, just blah blah blah. Now speaking of Freddy, Deep Blue Sea was directed by the creepy Finnish guy we all know and love, Renny Harlin.
Somebody has said that I have a foot fetish. And as I look back in my other movies, I do realize that every one of my movies is full of close-ups of feet. I find it interesting. looking at those feet doing their little things.
What the fuck? He's the director of Freddy 4, and as you know, I love this movie, one of my favorites, as well as Die Hard 2, Cliffhanger, and Exorcist: The Beginning. What the fuck is that? Well, safe to say he makes dumb fun movies, and I like a couple of them. I wouldn't say Deep Blue Sea is amongst his best, but it is fun for what it is. But watching it 2 times in a row alone by myself for a movie review, not the greatest. I'll give the entertainment 10 kilowatts out of 20. As for the final result of this video, Deep Blue Sea racked up an Alzheimer curing score of 51 kilowatts out of 100. Although the film was pretty successful at the box office, it didn't get any sequel. That is, until they decided to make 2 more of these fucking films in 2018 and 2020. They went straight to video and, well, they suck balls. And that's about it for me, so thanks for watching, and until next time, keep watching horror movies, it's good for your health. Don't give brain therapies to sharks, you idiots! Bye bye.